COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
Good evening, isolators. Gray one today. Learning today that phase one of reopening the economy, although, you know, I kind of thought phase one was really what we did, opening up hardware stores and the like before. But no, phase one of really getting people back to work and really opening up the economy, we find out is going to be happening on Tuesday. And the Premier is saying we need to be very cautious and we need to be watching. We don't know if it's going to close down right again. So here's what he had to say this afternoon.
And today, I'm ready to announce that this Saturday at 12:01 a.m., private parks and campgrounds, marinas and boat clubs, golf courses, and businesses that board animals will be allowed to open. And on Tuesday, May the 19th, we will enter the new stage, stage one, in the reopening of our province. We can reopen retail stores with street entrants that are not located in shopping malls, with strict social distancing measures in place. Certain seasonal venues, including outdoor sports fields, tennis courts, and off-leash dog parks. Vets and other pet services, such as pet grooming by appointment only, animal shelters, household services, such as cleaning and maintenance, certain health and medical services, including scheduled surgeries and in-person counseling. We'll also lift the essential construction limits to allow all construction to resume. I want to be clear that businesses should open only if they are ready. I'll repeat that, only if they are ready. And we need to keep in mind that all of this is dependent on the numbers. The truth is, we can't fully predict where things will go. So we need to be ready to react if we see a sudden increase in cases. We cannot let our guard down now.
Okay. I was glad to hear he said that we are getting ready to react should something happen. Parker, I think we may block Ruth. What do you think? This comment Ruth just said, hey, Kevin, you going to contact a dog groomer for your haircut? Ruth! You know what? I might have to. I might have to because, again, that's why I'm wearing a hat. Wearing my Mayberry, North Carolina hat today in honor of Andy Griffith. I actually bought this hat in Mount Airy, which was the town in North Carolina that Mayberry was based on. So, yeah, things get slowly start getting back to normal. And it's up to us, and the Premier is throwing that ball back into our court as well. It's up to us to make sure that we still follow the social distancing and that businesses follow that as well, that we wash our hands, that we stay home if we're sick, So keeping our fingers crossed, if we put what we did into isolation, I think we should do pretty good. All right, so I think the vast majority of us were pretty good with the isolation. I want to see some comments now. I want to see some comments from you people right now about what you're hoping you want to change during this time of isolation, because this show is all about today taking this time of isolation and using it to your benefit. You shouldn't waste time. There's times to relax, but you shouldn't waste time. We've been given this time, and I think we said that weeks ago, that we've been given this blessing of time. We could actually make some changes in our lives. Now, they could be wholesale changes like new jobs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or they could be getting in better shape, eating better. So I want to see what do you want to do? What do you want to change? And I want to know, how successful are you being at it? Because my guest tonight is a life coach. And hi there, how are you? Shauna Parr is joining me right now. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, how are you? Hello, everyone.
I am well. Thank you for joining me. And we always say, don't we? Oh, you know what? I am going to go on a diet. I'm losing this. I am going to look for a new job. I am going to do this. I'm going to do that. A lot of us don't follow through. Is it because we're lazy?
I wouldn't say it's because we're lazy. I think it's because we get caught in our head and we start to focus on the reasons that are stopping us rather than what we really want to get. It's so much easier to just say, oh, I want that, but I don't have time. I can't work it into my schedule. I'm too busy. There's so many excuses that we make up for ourselves. And we justify them all. That's the hardest part. We do justify them as to make them feel like they're real rather than just ideas and excuses.
One of the biggest excuses, and I'm sure you hear this a lot with your clients, is I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The time's always the biggest one, but the biggest question I'm going to throw back at everyone else is, do you make time for yourself? Mm-hmm. We're always so busy working. We take care of our employers. We take care of our staff. Then we take care of our family, our younger generation, our older generation. But where is our time? When do we actually stop and say, this is for me and this is my life, and what I want to do is I want this, and everybody's this is different.
So what do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about one of the things that you recommend for the first couple of weeks is to get your clients to journal. Do you want to talk about the journaling, or do you want to talk about how we can effect change effectively? You tell me.
Okay, well, I think we could start with the journal, and it all comes together because the journal is your own personal one-on-one communication. It's where you talk to yourself. It's where you can actually put into a plan to determine what you want. A lot of us really don't know what we want because we don't stop and actually think about it. We go from day to day, whatever situation comes up, we put out that fire. So if you start a journal, you're going to start with 5 minutes of your own time where you're going to just sit there and say, what do I want? Do I want to lose weight? Do I want to start a fitness program? Do I want a new career?
Okay, so I guess essentially, we're going to go through some tips, and you know I've talked about this, so I know which direction we're going into. So we're going to go through some tips on journaling properly. We hear about journaling, and I think sometimes we think it's more than it really has to be. It could really literally be a few sentences to begin with. So let's go with tip number 1 for journaling, and that is something you're already talking about right now, and that is you want to start with the words, I want ...
Yeah. And then fill in those dots. So I want, what do you want? What do you truly, in your heart and in your life, want to bring into fruition? Is it something that's going to make you happy? Is it something that's going to make you successful? But only you have the answer. That's the whole thing with journaling. We all have our own destiny and we all have our own journey to take. So what I, as a life coach, might come in thinking you want isn't necessarily what you're even really looking for.
Okay, explain that.
So you have to be clear. As a life coach, we leave everything at the door. So we leave our judgment, we leave our preconceived ideas. You phone me, you say you want to talk about getting more active. But what is your version of active? My version could be something different. So you have to know yourself and actually delve into who you are and who you want to be. So you're here today, where do you want to be tomorrow? In 2 weeks, in 30 days, in 2 years. Everybody talks about setting goals, but a lot of us talk about setting goals for our future career. But how many people actually sit back and set a goal for themselves internally and what brings them peace and joy or happiness? Not a lot of people.
Can you have more than one answer?
I
want to lose weight. I want to get a better job. I want to eat better.
Oh, 100%. People have so many different things that they want, but sometimes you have to be clear on each step first. So if you want to lose weight, you have to start with eating better. And if you want to start with eating better, you have to understand your body and your needs and a little bit about nutrition. So everything comes together as soon as we go back to that I want. So as soon as you know what you want, you can put little steps and action steps and baby steps to make that come to your final outcome.
Okay, so we're opening up the journal. We're going to page 1.
Yeah.
And quite often that's the hardest thing, right, is starting out. So we've already started out for you folks. I want, and so now I'm looking off to my viewers. I want to see in the message board, what do you want to do? And maybe we could go through some of these steps together with some of the viewers out there right now. So let's start populating the message board right now. I want to ... and Mike Robin, no silly answer. I'm already on to you. I know. See, Mike Robin, put up Mike. You know what? I trust him to do this. Dear Diary. Okay, Mike. Okay, all right. He's a pain. He's a pain in my butt. Okay, I want to find my inner child.
Okay.
That's not bad. I mean, yeah, let's find that. What else do you want? You know what? Okay, Mike Robin, who and everybody knows Mike. Everyone knows and loves Mike. Mike, I want a serious answer from you right now. I want to know what you want. We're going to help Mike out right now. All right, we're going to use him as our example.
Yeah.
Okay? So Mike, I want you to think really carefully. What is it you want? Is it to eat better, to exercise? What is it? I'm just going to have to wait for his reply here.
Sure.
I want to grow veggies, says Lori. I want to be happy, Meredith. I mean, that is a very legitimate thing.
Uh-huh.
In fact, can you help someone when they say, I just want to be happy, Shauna?
Of course I can, because everybody's got their own definition of happy. So, her idea of happiness could be having a home or having a pet or having a certain amount of money in the bank. So knowing what will bring you happiness, we can take those steps to get you there.
Okay, I'm still waiting for Mike. Still waiting. We'll wait all day, mister. Everybody's saying the pressure is on, Mike. I want to be better.
Like we said earlier, though, it's one of the hardest things is figuring out what you want.
Here it is. Mike just put it up. It's just up there. There we go. I want to be able to relax after a hectic day, to absolutely relax.
Okay.
So now, is that a legitimate thing that you want to change your life for, or that you need to work on? Yes, to legitimately relax. Because it's one thing to relax, but sometimes you sit there and you feel guilty the entire time.
Yeah, but see, that's where you have to give yourself permission. Everything starts with you, and you have to allow yourself and do self-talk to get you to the point of where you can relax, where you can let go of the guilt, where you can let go of the expectations of everybody else. So if your idea of relaxing is sitting down and having a cold beer, or it's going for a walk in the neighborhood, or if it's just sitting there and doing nothing, that's okay. That's called meditating nowadays. So it's okay to do that. So we just have to figure out for you as an individual what it is that will make you feel at ease and feel at home and relaxed.
Okay, let's go to the next tip now about journaling. So once you've written I want, self-esteem and confidence. Okay, how does that enter into the journaling?
Self-esteem and confidence all comes down to how you talk about yourself. As we grow up, as we're younger and we take on new things and we learn new things, we're taught that that's good, that's bad, that you shouldn't do things. So you have to be able to say to yourself, I am good at something that someone else hasn't said you were. So for me, my aunt told me once I wasn't a good singer. So for years, I wouldn't sing out loud. My kids are probably laughing right now because they'd still tell me not to, but I love to sing.
Who cares if you're a good singer or not?
I won't do it now, no.
Well, okay, I won't make you do it, but I should talk because I'm the first one to say I'm not going to dance.
Okay.
But it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter.
A good mantra to tell yourself is, who cares? Mm-hmm. So if somebody tells you something, who cares? This is my life. This is what I want to do. Who cares about what everyone else says? You know what? As long as you feel good and you've got the feeling and you tell yourself that it's a good thing, you're not going to feel bad about it. Enjoy your life. Life is here to be enjoyed.
So when we're journaling, how are we bringing that self-esteem and confidence in the journaling? And you're asking us to journal every day, right? This is not just I start at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month I say, okay, here I am.
Yeah. No, you want to do it every day and you want to see the progression. So what you will say to yourself is something that positive you think about yourself every day. So you helped somebody today when you were in the grocery store and they were very thankful to you and it made you feel good. One of the things about self-esteem and self-confidence in journaling is you want to feel the emotion. You want to feel excited about your life. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to take away negativity. We're so used to making all negative comments about ourselves or our actions or our careers. We forget to say all the positive things that we do. We do so many positive things every single day for ourselves, but we never acknowledge it. The more you acknowledge the positive in your life, the better your self-esteem will be, and your confidence will just start to exude to other people. And that's one of the best parts. You'll walk into a room and you don't have to compare yourself. You just already have that feeling.
Okay, Carmen, we saw it. Let's see it again. Carmen put up this comment: learn not to be so negative about me. And I think that's a really good goal. I think we're our own worst critic. We can say people complain about us all the time. But, I learned years ago that if I made a mistake, I realized I was always saying, "You idiot." I was saying that literally inside. So I said to myself, stop saying that. You would think, well, that's silly. It's just words. But you know what? It allowed me to say, okay, I'm going to forgive myself for doing something silly.
Yeah. It's the words that we tell ourselves that matter the most, because we have that constant tape going around and around and around in our head. So if you could take away certain words out of your vocabulary, little tweaks. So the word should, take the word should out. Like, should I do something? You either want to or you don't want to.
Okay, so, this is interesting because with my students, teaching journalism, one of the things I had them come up with was a brand statement. And I think this would be a good exercise for everyone. And essentially what it is that if you were selling yourself on eBay and really wanted to get someone to buy you, what few lines would you use to describe yourself? And that was one of the things I said. I said, don't use words like I might, I could, I should, I would. I do it.
Yeah. I will, I am. All strength words. You want to bring strength into your personality and into your thinking. Because again, negative thoughts have been there for years. So switching a negative thought to a positive thought, you probably have to give yourself about 8 positives to get rid of 1 negative. So being positive is a choice. Not everybody is optimistic. It's a choice every day you make. You can go, oh, it's so crappy outside. I go, it's Mother Nature at her best. She's laying the seeds for the spring and the summer. So it's just how you look at every situation.
Do you know what I've been thinking about this? We have not had good weather, really. We've had some nice sunny looking days, but I think it's just sort of Mother Nature saying, it's okay. You know what? You're isolated anyway. Just stay inside. So I'm good with this weather for now. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday as things start to slowly get back to normal. Journal entry number 3 now. Well, not journal entry number 3, but the third thing. Gratitude. Now, why with your journal?
Well, because if you journal it, you've written it down and it means something, and then you can go back and you can look at it. And it also makes you relive the reason and the purpose of why you're grateful. You can be grateful for the person who dropped something off to your doorstep. You can be grateful for the birds chirping first thing in the morning. We can be grateful for anything that happens in the course of that day. The more often you acknowledge it, it's easier it comes into your life.
So is it okay? Is it okay for me to say that I'm grateful for Mike Robin, even though he's a goof? Is that okay?
Well, yeah, it's okay.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to know. I
take the goof out, but it's good. You're grateful for Mike Robin. He's here. He's loyal.
I am very. I'm grateful for all my viewers, and I'm grateful. Mike Robin is sort of like the patriarch, I think, of our viewers. Okay, so you've talked about when you're making your plan for a day, that gratitude should enter into a plan. And this
Yes.
is something we've talked about before a few weeks ago about making a daily plan and including in the plan being thankful for something.
Yes.
So how important is that it should factor into your day each day?
Oh, if you do it each day, you're going to find more and more things to be grateful for because you're going to start to see them and you're going to start to acknowledge it. We're grateful for so many things. And most people will say, I'm grateful for money in my account. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for big things. It's not always big things that make your day, though. You could be grateful for the person who stopped the car and let you cross in front of them. You know, it's pouring rain out. That would have been very nice. So don't limit it to just big things. The more grateful you are, the more things that are going to come into you to make you even happier and more grateful, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. It does. Okay, let's go to number 4 now, and we're talking about journaling. I know Shauna Parr. She is a life coach, and the first step to affecting change is to journal. And let's go to the next one now, and that is ground yourself. Now, boy, this sounds very familiar. We've talked about grounding yourself when it comes to cognitive behavior and meditation, and you mean grounding yourself is important in changing yourself as well?
Yes. Yes, it is, because if you can ground, especially if you're in a momentary moment where everything is just going crazy, if you could just stop, take a deep breath, like put your feet solid on the ground, totally flat, whether you're sitting, obviously when you're standing, they'll be flat on the ground, but make sure that you actually just take a nice, big, deep breath. You breathe in the good, you breathe out the stress. Breathe in the good, breathe out the bad. If you can do that every day for at least 5 minutes off and on throughout your day, you will feel every time that breath goes in, you'll start to feel the release of all the anxiety, all the stress. Grounding is so important to keep you just focused. It's another word for focus. It just keeps you on target and keeps your heart, your mind, everything working together.
Okay, and one more item now from journaling, and it is, who are you? Okay, now explain this to me.
Okay, so when somebody asks you who you are, everybody has an identity that they will automatically say, I'm a mother, I'm a single parent, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a whatever, an astronaut, whatever you are. But who are you really? You know, that's just a part of your life. We all start off with a clean slate, and life's experiences change us. And there are times when you really don't know who you are because you're following the societal norms, you're following other people's expectations, you get married, you have kids, you get divorced, you have to work, like you're just going. I don't know how many people have actually stopped and actually said, who am I? Unless you're in that midlife where you're thinking, okay, what do I want to do now? You're switching careers. I love childlike curiosity. To me, that is a number one thing. I like to be curious about the world.
That's, you know, and that is I think the greatest gift I ever got from my dad was his sense of curiosity. It didn't matter where he and I went, we were always exploring. And it was so unexpected so many times. You'd be driving along and you'd see something, oh, we're pulling over and we're going in here. And so I carried that through to my life as well. So that curiosity, definitely. I think it would be interesting to perhaps answer that question on day 1 of journaling, who am I? And then on the last day.
Yeah. That would be actually an excellent exercise, because if you're going to go through the month of journaling and you are going to do some reflection and you are going to look at who you are and you are going to start doing some self-positive talk and you're going to do some self-gratitude, you will see a huge change from today or tomorrow, whatever day you start, to the 30 days later, because a whole new wonder will appear. You'll be amazed at how your life will change in that amount of time. And one of the best parts about when you're a coach is you get to actually experience that along the way with somebody, because you do check-ins and you can say, remember how you were on this day? Look at how you're thinking now. And it's amazing.
All right, you were actually inviting people to email you as well, and I wanted to pardon me, I wanted to put up your email address for people, and that is positivechapters1@gmail.com. And what are you looking for?
Send me off a quick email, and I will send you off a customized 30-day personal journal. It will be in an electronic form where you can complete all the exercises that we're talking about, no strings attached. It's just something that you can take home and you can sit down and actually start to look at it. When you start to journal, you want to be consistent. And that's the other key thing that a coach actually does. We keep you consistent, and we keep you an ownership, that you say something to us and we're going to keep you on that target. Now remember, this is totally confidential. This is your own private journal. No one's going to look at it, lock it somewhere, put it on, a special password to get into it. Whatever you need to do to know it's just yours. Because these are your inner thoughts. And sometimes you want to share it, sometimes you don't.
And I think the danger would be that if you thought someone else was going to read it, that you wouldn't be telling the honest truth from inside. You'd be saying something that you think somebody else would want to hear. So let's use singing. You know what? I want to be a famous singer. Well, that would be silly if someone else found out about that, so I'm not going to write that down. No, these have to be thoughts that, the stars are the limit.
Authentic.
Okay.
The best part is imagine living a life of being your authentic self, where what you think, what you feel, how you act is how you truly feel. I mean, obviously, you still want to practice some decorum. You don't want to say nasty things to people without thinking about it, but we're talking about you and your inner being and who you are and making you a stronger, healthier, and I'm going to be honest, a much happier person.
Okay.
If you're true to yourself, that's the best person.
All right, everybody's asking. I'm sorry. When I produce portions of the show in the afternoon, I made your email way too short as far as being on the air. So we're going to let's put it up again, Parker. And Parker is actually putting it in the comments right now. We'll put it up on the air. Why did I just leave? Why did I make it go on the air so quickly? I mean, it's there. Positivechapters1@gmail.com. And then it disappears. But we will keep putting that up throughout, because I think this is a very interesting exercise. And we'll remind you of that, of course, before. Oh, Parker found a way to keep it there. Okay, good. All right. We're going to take a short break right now, just to take a breath, have a glass of water. Don't anybody go anywhere, okay? Because we have more to talk about. We're going to talk about 3 things that will guarantee that you can effect change in your life. As well, I have a special message for my viewers that I want to talk to you about near to the end of the show. So that's all still to come. As we go to break, I would appreciate you taking notice of this promo that I produced this afternoon. It was a lot of fun to do. So we'll be back with more Kevin's Isolators.
We're asking a lot of those on the front lines of this pandemic, and they're stepping up. But a fighting spirit isn't enough. Nurses and healthcare professionals need the proper personal protective equipment to stay safe. It's their armor, their best line of defense, and yours. And when their shift is over, the protective equipment provides one last assurance, that it's safe to go home. Show your support at nursesknow.ona.org. A message from the Ontario Nurses Association.
I just cannot accept the fact that many of our businesses are in danger of closing. So tomorrow we're dedicating the show to retail, to restaurants, with some good advice. We want you to stay open for business. So yeah, it's going to be a tough fight, but I also want all of you, all of my viewers, to join the fight. We want you staying open for business. So tomorrow, some great advice and encouragement and thoughts about staying open for business. It's going to mean some change. I mean, this whole thing, we're talking about this today. In fact, today's show is very much for you because we're talking about change. Life coach Shauna Parr is with me right now. And I think, Shauna, that it would be great for business people, right? It's kind of funny right now. I'm looking at your camera. And you have a picture behind you, and it looks as though someone has drawn bunny ears on you. I'm just noticing.
It's actually a picture. Would you like me to show
Yes,
you?
can I see that? I'm just looking at okay, it's the word enjoy. It looks like bunny ears, but that's okay.
Enjoy the little things.
Okay. All right. I had to see what that was. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow we're talking about business and retail. And if anybody needs to change, it's going to have to be a lot of our retailers. They're going to have to adapt to the new normal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That's very true. There is so much that's changing. So, and it's a tough time for everybody. The one thing you just have to do is you have to focus in on who you are and how you're going to get through it. Everyone else has their situations and they're going to get through it their way. So right now, as a coach, we always focus on you. We don't focus on the story of what's going on around you. We focus on you and your needs. Okay. So that is one thing that you will find very different when you're dealing with a coach.
So you don't necessarily have to have all the answers on day one if you're going to start a journal. So if you are a business owner and you want to start saying, I want to survive, you can start on day one.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to have all the answers. I'm going to survive by doing this, 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 and this. But it's just, I want to survive.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And you take each step, you identify what the challenge is. So is the challenge getting the clients back in the door? I work in healthcare as well, so that's part of our challenge. Is it just opening the doors? Is it making sure the place is clean? Like, figure out the steps that are going to take to get you to where you're going, but you have to identify the challenge first and identify what you want.
Now, we talked about something that will help you to effect change if you can just remember the acronym I AM.
I am.
So let's bring that let's bring that up on the screen right now. And the I AM is identify, acknowledge and accept, and move forward. So we start with identify.
Yeah. Identifying, like I just mentioned, is where you actually pinpoint what it is you want. Okay, so you've got to identify what the challenge is. You want to lose weight. You want to open your store. Okay, so you've got it. You've identified the problem and the obstacle. So now you actually have to acknowledge it. And this is where a lot of people get stuck in the acknowledgement and acceptance of it because they want to deny it. They want to deny that it's not their fault. It's not my fault that I'm overweight. It's not my fault that I haven't gone to the gym. It's all the other circumstances and obstacles in my life that have caused that. So the minute that you can accept it and accept the responsibility, you've identified it, you've acknowledged it, and now you've accepted it. Once you've accepted it, the next thing to do is to move through it and move forward and take advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. So take the baby step. It all starts with that first step. We could sit there for forever and talk about the reasons why this is going on. But don't you want to get beyond that? Don't you want to stop just talking about it and actually move forward? Moving forward it's scary, it's exciting.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
Life is fun.
And I think, and again, I'm gonna, I this is great for people who do own a business. Is that yes, this is scary. This is your livelihood. This is everything, and you've probably put everything you have into it.
Yep.
And it is going to be scary, but if you can rise to the challenge,
that's it.
And
that's it.
Have some fun doing it. Like, just don't sit down and cry. I remember as a kid that when something became too challenging, I would sit down and I would cry.
Yeah.
And it didn't do anything.
No, but you actually, when you're crying and you're getting through something like that, that's where you're actually acknowledging it. Your body is acknowledging the issue.
Yeah.
So you've got it. Right at that moment, you feel helpless. So, but you have to let the emotion come out so that you can then move beyond that. So many people sit in that obstacle stage, in that, oh, woe is me, or I can't do it because. Part of that is because they don't want to feel it. A lot of people are afraid to feel the actual emotion of defeat or of the unknown or of being scared and frightened. The minute you feel it, you let it go. Once it's been felt, it's gone. Then you're free and clear to go ahead and take that next step. We've all had many challenges in our lives, whether it's divorce, breakups, losing a home, financial challenges. Not acknowledging it means you sit in inaction. You sit there and you think, oh, it's just going to solve itself. If you actually can go, yeah, I really messed up, or I made a big mistake, or yeah, that really has ripped my life apart, but I don't want to stay down here and wallow and worry about it. I want to move up that ladder again, and I want to be more successful, or I want to be healthier, or I want to build my business better than what it was before. A circumstance, sorry.
Do you know? No. Sorry, continue on. A circumstance?
So even just with reaching out to you, Kevin, that was way outside my comfort zone.
Just for a little background, Shauna had reached out to me, and you felt peculiar doing it. You didn't feel you should reach out to me. And to me, people reach out all the time, and that's how I find out about wonderful people like you.
Thank you.
Here you were, and this is a very good example. Here you were thinking something may have been a little uncomfortable in that, when in actuality it really wasn't. It was extremely normal.
See, and that's so nice to hear the other side, because from my side, it's like, well, why would he reply back? Like, why would he be interested in something like that? So unless you go outside your comfort zone, and I'm going to tell you, when I told my family and friends, they were all like, you what? And I'm like, yeah, I just did it. You know?
Great. And here you are.
And what's he going to say is, no, I'm not interested, or not reply?
And you're finding a lot of fans in the comments. Let's put that email address up again. Again, what are you offering my viewers?
I'm offering you a free electronic version, a customized journal for yourself. So you can actually have your own. We'll customize it to your name, everything. It's complimentary, and then you can go in and just complete it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna add a caveat to that. Do not email and ask for this unless you're going to use it.
And exactly, that was going to be my next statement.
Because
it's a waste of your time.
We buy all these things to make our life easier sometimes, right? A juicer. I mean, I have 3 juicers, okay, because the one juicer was better than the other juicer was better than the other juicer, and all 3 of them sit there. So I think that this is fantastic. I'm just wondering, are there any questions? I've been sort of watching off to the side here, and I just want to see if there's any questions people have of a life coach. We have a life coach here. Is there a hurdle maybe that you're having a tough time getting over? So put that in the comments. But you know what? I think I touched a nerve when I said, as a kid, I used to sit down and cry, and you said that was okay.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, thanks for letting us know that it's okay to cry.
Really? Yeah. It's amazing. Unless you're in a forum like this, a lot of people won't share something like that. And I actually was going to say, when we were talking about the grateful, I was going to say, if you're up to it and if your viewers are up to it, every day when you start your show, a way of making them accountable is to write, good evening, Kevin and Parker. Today I'm grateful for.
Okay, starting tomorrow, folks. New regular feature tomorrow
on the fun, everybody. Have fun with it.
Exactly. And you know what? So starting tomorrow, we start every show with what you're grateful for, okay? Why didn't I do that 54 days ago? Where were you, Shauna?
You hadn't met me.
You hadn't met you. Okay, so we are going to do that starting tomorrow. What am I grateful for? Okay, that is such a wonderful idea. And I want people to be imaginative, too, with being grateful. Do you know, I felt awkward the other day. I had Mayor John Tory on. And at the end of it, I love to tell people when they're doing a good job. I just do. I'll call a manager in a restaurant or something, and I'll say, this server really went above and beyond, or whatever, because people complain so much. I tend to like to share the compliments. I call TTC all the time when there's an operator that does something great, because they get crapped on all the time. Yeah. So I had John Tory on, and I started to say, you know what? You've been there. I know this is tough for you. You are trying to satisfy businesses, and you're trying to satisfy the health unit. You're trying to satisfy your citizens. And I think you've done a fantastic job. And it sort of hit me that I felt, I'm saying I'm grateful for a politician. And I don't think any of us would say that to any politician, because all we ever do is complain. But being grateful to someone. I mean, I'm grateful for Doug Ford. I'm grateful for the Premier and how he has stepped up. I'm grateful for how he is trying to reopen the province, and he's doing it. He's not just doing it, we got to open this up and we got to go. He's saying, no, we're going to do it, but I will put the brakes on in 1 second if I have to. So being grateful for things maybe you don't even consider. Being grateful for the garbage collector.
Yeah. Honestly, I was grateful for ours, because the people who lived next door had tons of garbage out there. And I was so grateful when they came and took away mattresses and box springs. So that made my day. But, and that was today.
Yeah, so here's Heather says, every night at dinner, we each say something that we are grateful for. Gratitude. So it's strange. It's interesting that a lot of the topics we've talked about, so this show is about positivity and encouragement. So we've had you on as a life coach. We have had people on talking about meditation and cognitive behavior and being in the moment. We've had people on talking about better nutrition. We've had people on talking about fitness. And they all, without fail, come back with one of the tips being, you got to be grateful and grounded. And it just applies to, so I think you've got this little secret here that if you can put it in a journal, who knows, maybe even if you're not trying to eat better, maybe you'll start eating better. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll start feeling better. There's going to be little things that come out of this.
Well, there will be, and there'll also be an accountability. That's always one of the challenges, is people have friends who will always let them slide and say, it's okay, don't worry about it. Whereas if you have an accountability of doing something, you are more apt to follow through and do it.
All right. Shauna, this has been absolutely fantastic. Will you come back?
I would love to. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
That would be great. So once again, let's put the email up, and I'll try and leave it up. And I've posted it as well. We posted it, right, Parker? Yeah, okay. We posted it. Positive Chapters 1, the numeral 1, at gmail.com. If you don't get it, email me. I have tons of emails and ways to contact me. I'll make sure that we get it for you. So anything else you want to add to all the people who are out in isolation right now? Maybe some of them are feeling guilty because they haven't used this time to their advantage. What would you say to them?
Well, you can't go back and you can't change it now. All you can do is move forward. So move forward in what you want. Think about it. Look forward to something new. That's what will make everybody feel better. Just look forward to something. Have that curiosity and just take that step ahead rather than going back. Move forward. Always go forward.
All right. Shauna Parr, thank you very much for this. All right. Shauna Parr, talking to us. She is a life coach. And some incredible things to think about, aren't there? We have so much, and I always picture what would happen if someone from an incredibly impoverished nation came here and lived our lives, and went out and saw everything that we have. They would be amazed at every single thing. It could be something as simple as, wow, the roads are paved. They don't have a lot of potholes in them or anything like that. We'd love to complain, don't we? We'd love to complain. And I think what might set you apart from other people who don't want to be successful, if you want to be successful, the one thing you find with most successful people is they're grateful. They go through, and you know what? They get knocked down. What do? They get back up again. The true entrepreneurs, the ones who really make a difference, are the ones who are grateful. And yeah, they may sit down and cry, but then they get up, brush themselves off, and move on. So very interesting. Okay, I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to my viewers about something that happened last night. And this is, I'm going to start out by saying I'm very grateful for all of you. Because right at the beginning of doing this broadcast, 54 broadcasts ago, I said, this is about positivity. This show is about positivity. I don't have time for judgment. I don't have time for complaints. You can get that anywhere. And I asked all of you. I asked you to, even in your social media posting, to try and at least not post anything for the next few weeks that's negative or complaining. So if you were with us last night, you noticed there was, and it's so funny with all of you, and we could pick this one person out. Someone came on and was negative and was just blathering on silly things about, it was Dr. Fung who was on. And just saying really silly things. Now, Parker was watching and finally was able to block the person because basically, you know what? I'll block someone if they irritate me. I'll block them. I don't have to listen to both sides all the time if I don't want to. So Parker was able to block. However, before Parker was doing it, I watch everything off to the side. I watched, and you guys didn't let it happen. You were all over this person, and nicely. Nobody was really mean or anything. It was just, hey, come on. That's not right. If you don't like it, please leave. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for the family that we have become, because strength in numbers. We can accomplish anything together, and having each other's back and being positive. And as Shauna had said, being grateful. And I see that. Night after night in this. I'm recognizing so many names. And that's how I'm going to start my first, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it the gratuity? I don't know. I'll come up with some fancy name for it. But we are going to start tomorrow, every show, with being grateful for something. I want everybody to have something to be grateful for. All right? Tomorrow, that's what we're going to start off with. And any newcomers to the show are going to be surprised. What is with these people? Holy cow, did I fall into a cult or something? No, we are going to be grateful, and we're going to do the best we can with this isolation, and we're going to change our lives for the better. There's no use in wasting the time. We can't go back, right? We can't go back. So that's fantastic. It's fantastic to be associated with each and every one of you. So I want to thank you for that. I'm grateful for you. So don't forget, tomorrow we're going to talk about what we can do to help businesses, how we can adapt to the new normal. I'm going to argue tomorrow that, now, yes, it's extremely sad we're going to lose some businesses, some that have been in business for a long time. But I think for the ones that survive, I think it is going to force them to adapt to the new way of doing business, because you know what? Amazon was going to kill each and every one of you anyway. So now you have now you can have a fighting chance. So you need to take this and don't look at it as a problem. Look at it as a challenge. And we're going to help you meet that challenge as best we can on tomorrow's show. So until then, thank you so much for spending this hour with me. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back. Well, hey.